and welcome to Long's Toys. I have a Shuriken Sentai Ninninger review for you today. This is the Sandan Ningeki Karakuri Hengen, and as you can see up here, it's a little out of frame because the box is hard to keep in frame, but it comes with the Ki Ninja Shuriken. So it's a pretty massive box. As you can see, it's a giant kind of Shuriken looking thing, but it has 3 modes, which we'll take a look at. On the side, you can see a nice picture of Aka Ninja. Nice picture of on that side. Nice group shot picture there on the top. I really like that a lot. And also on the bottom. On the back, it shows you the 3 modes. You kind of have a blade mode, a bow and arrow mode, and a claw mode. So pretty cool there. So we'll go ahead and get this guy out of the packaging and we'll take a closer look. Alright, so here's everything you get in the box. Obviously you get the Karakuri Hengen, and you get the Ki Ninja Core, Shuriken Core, and the Shuriken Blade. So I think this core looks pretty good. I like the kanji for yellow here. If you press the button with nothing attached, just says Ki Ninja. If you take the blade, pop it on, and turn it, that activates it. And then if you press the button, which I assume is supposed to be like a dump Maru sound. I can't really tell. It might be like a truck making, I don't know, some kind of noise. Maybe dumping something out or just driving through some gravel or something like that. So, decent shuriken there. We're going to move on now. Let me zoom back out. Obviously, the Karakuri Hengen has 3 modes, if you've seen the show. It does take 2 AAA batteries, which go right here in the kind of handle. As you can see, there's a button on both sides here. There's a button up here. On and off switch is right here. I'll turn it off for now. Speakers right here. So it actually, the first of the modes, and you can see here there's kind of the cool fire effect that it has on the Ichiban Toe. And then there's, a different symbol for each mode. It comes packaged in the first mode, which is to just flip this out, and then it's a sword. I don't know why it comes packaged in the box like that, because mine is a little bent from coming in the package like that, which is kind of a shame. I don't know why they didn't just leave it in there, keep it nice and straight, and everything would have been fine. But I think if you just had to store it like this, you should be okay in the future. But anyway, so the first mode, you pull this out. That is the blade mode. So you can hold it. Let me see if I can zoom out more to get this thing in frame. There we go. So it has the handle on the back, so if I turn it back on, you can hold it. And my hand actually fits somewhat decently in there, which is not bad. Obviously, a kid's hand would fit much better. But if you press this button, so it just kind of makes a generic slashing sound. And it's only one sound, so no matter how many times you hit the button, it'll repeat. Now, if you pop the shuriken on, so as you can see, and I'll do that again, once you put the shuriken on, now, one thing to note, this does not spin. It's not like the Ichiban Toe. You cannot spin the shuriken once it's attached. It just clips on, and that's it. So once you do, it'll obviously activate the kind of finisher for this mode, and then you just press this button again, and it does the sound. Now, to take the shuriken off, this button down here, this kind of gold, you hold that in, and then you can lift that off. So once again, I will go ahead and I'll do it from this side so you can see with the speaker and the buttons and everything. Just pop this on. And you can see you can just hit the button over and over again once the shuriken's attached. So I'm going to take this off, return this back to the kind of default, and then we'll move on to the bow and arrow mode. Alright, I'm going to do my best to kind of keep this in shot, but basically the first thing you're going to do is come around to the back. Where are they? These two buttons here. Hold these down, or push them in together, and then the handle is going to revolve 90 degrees. So now you're going to, which side is this? This part. You're going to hold it like this, with the blue part to the right. And you're going to, no, I'm wrong, I'm sorry. With the yellow part to the right, the blue part to the left. Then you're going to extend these down, and that's going to make the kind of bow sections. So again, it's going to be difficult, but you can see there that that's the bow. And now you have it like this, so you can hold it like this. Now if you pull this part back, the yellow part, that's kind of like drawing back the arrow and firing it. So you don't have to press this button, you just pull this back and fire. So once again, if you pop this on, now there's no lights or anything. The part that would technically be where the arrow would fire from doesn't actually do anything. It's just pulling this part back. And I'm just going to fold this part in just for the sake of keeping it on camera. To pull this back, that's as far as it pulls back. So it's very miniaturized. Now, while I think the span for this is fairly impressive as far as a bow goes for a kid's toy, I would have really liked it if this could have pulled back a little bit farther. But the last kind of bow and arrow that we've gotten recently was the Sonic arrow from Kamen Rider Gaim. And that was kind of the same deal. It was about the same length of the bow, and it pulled back about the same. So that's kind of just par for the course for, I guess, Japanese kid toy bow and arrows. So once again, I'm going to take this off. And we'll move on to the third and final mode, the claw mode. So the claw mode is very easy to get to from the bow and arrow mode. You're going to leave the handle in the same position, not the sword position, the bow position. And then you're literally just going to take these two things and just pull them out. Instead of pulling them all the way up for the bow and arrow, you're just going to leave them kind of perpendicular to the, this part here that would have been the stem of the bow. So now you have kind of a three-pronged claw here. And that's pretty much it. That's the claw mode. Now you're going to use this button. If you take the shuriken and pop it on, so that's pretty much it for the claw mode. It's just really massive, but I think it's a decent looking claw mode. I see what they were going for here. I feel like the claw mode is fairly similar to the blade mode. So I kind of would have liked a third mode that was different, but I don't know what they would have done. And I mean, it's fine for what it is. I don't know a third weapon that's radically different from a bow and arrow and a sword. I mean, I guess a blaster or something like that, but they kind of already have the Gamma Gamma gun. Sorry, blanking on the name of that there. So they already have the Gamma Gamma gun, but I guess if this was like a sword, a bow and arrow, and a gun. But a bow and arrow is kind of like an old-timey gun if you think about it in terms of they both fire something. So I don't really know what they would have done for a third mode, or maybe just have a sword and a bow and arrow mode. So then they could have put a little bit more love into the two of those. Not really sure. Taking a look real quick at the Ki Ninja Shuriken with the Ichiban Toe. It's going to make pretty much the exact same sounds that the Aka Ninja Shuriken and the Ao Ninja Shuriken and the Shiro Ninja Shuriken. So they hit the transformation. And then the Maru summoning button doesn't really make sense with a Ranger Shuriken. But yeah, so I mean, unfortunately it doesn't really make any different sounds than any of the other Ranger Shuriken would make. But you know, it still looks good. Clipped on the sword, I think it looks pretty cool. I do like the Ki Ninja Shuriken in general. So I think that's pretty nice. So while this thing is kind of cool, I don't know that I can ultimately recommend it. It really is going to be based on your personal preferences. I mean, anytime you get a roleplay toy for a kid's line, they're always smaller than you'd like, a little bit more compact. The blade mode to me is by far the worst because it just looks like a giant shuriken with a little bit of a knife on the end, and it doesn't really work as far as a sword. The claw mode is decent. You know, you have kind of a three-pronged thing, and that feels like more of a fist weapon as opposed to like a sword, so it kind of makes sense to just kind of have that tight and small to your hand, but could still do damage. My favorite is by far the bow and arrow mode. I think that's pretty cool. I wish it was a little bigger, but like I said, when comparing it to the Sonic Arrow, which is another recent bow and arrow toy we've gotten in the last year or so, it's about the same size. You know, it's on the same guidelines there. So I think that it's a fun toy, but if you're really only buying it for the Ki Ninja Shuriken, they're going to be selling those separately later on in May, so you might just want to bag this and get a Ki Ninja Shuriken by itself later on. I got this on Hobby Link Japan for about 3,600 yen, which is about $30 American, so that's not a bad price for it. You can have some decent fun with it, and I think the Shuriken is worth probably about $10 on its own, so you know that makes this piece about 20, which isn't terrible. Full retail, I think, is 4,500 yen, which is like $37 to $38 American, so I wouldn't pay full retail for it. You know, go to Hobby Link, get it on sale, or if you can find it somewhere else on sale, or maybe one day you want to pick it up secondhand, something like that. Wait for a sale. Don't pay full retail. And if you really just want the Shuriken, then you can just wait and get the Shuriken on its own. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what your favorite mode out of the three is, and if you think it's worth it to get this thing. Please like and share this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the Karakuri Hengen from Shuriken Sentai Ninninger, and thanks for watching.